Hello, everyone.
Good morning.
How can you not be happy when you hear that kind of good morning? That's where Ariel gets it. That's little sweet Disney princess, good morning, everything's great voice. I love it. Okay, let me get everybody up on here. Give me 1 second. Hope everyone's doing well this morning. I had coffee, which I'm excited about. I went through this phase where I didn't really enjoy coffee again, and Leilani's looking at me like I'm kind of crazy, which...
I was determined to make it good so he would want to drink it.
Yes, I definitely do. Give us 1 second here. There we go. Okay. Now, and as you know, we always have to wait a couple minutes to get people on.
What is that different?
Hey, Sherry. I bet it's got to be good having your daughter home, huh? Just give a couple more moments. Man, look at this little puffiness. What's going on here? Honey, you always look great.
This is very awkward. And that's really throwing me off.
Well, I have to see the comments and everything. That's right, because it's delayed.
Several
That's
seconds.
really weird. Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started. Yeah, see, I asked that question and Sherry just entered it back in. So it will take a little bit of a delay, obviously. We're trying a little bit different of a camera setup. And the main reason why is because my son, which takes care of the video side in our business, he's actually he's in a learning stage right now. And he said, man, when you guys use the camera on your phone, it was way better than the one on your laptop. Which, if you ever try and buy a webcam right now, it's crazy expensive. I mean, I remember I bought this camera. It's a little webcam, HD. It was $79. The exact same one right now is about $179 to $200 for the exact same one. So, yeah, they're definitely taking advantage of things running low. They may have it in stock. They're just charging a little bit more. Let's see. I didn't realize I was live. I was scrolling on Facebook and saw this. Well, awesome. That's good. Okay, first things first, we'll just go into some previous questions. I've been getting a lot this week, and I wanted to include Leilani this week because, quite frankly, she is so critical to who I am and what I do. But there's a part of me that needs her, obviously, and this is why God said, hey, we need to create a woman to help be a partner, to be a part of, to partner with. And a lot of times people have been asking me about mentorship and how the importance of mentorship. And I've been getting more messages this week than I think probably the last month and a half, 2 months combined, where they're saying, how do I get a good mentor? How do I know who to hang out with? Because as we know, there's this interesting little story where if you put one crab in a bucket, the crab will escape. But the interesting thing that crabbers know is if you put two crabs in a bucket, the one crab will keep pulling the other one down. They'll keep trying to get out of the bucket, but the other one will keep the other one from getting out. So consistently, you're trying to sit there, who in my life is keeping me from getting out of the bucket? And we have people that will sit there and go, okay, you know what? I have this visual. We have a bucket. You have two people in there, and you could sit there and try and pull the other one down, and you could fight, and you're going to be exhausted. You're going to be tired. And then there's people in your life that are literally going to push you up the bucket. They're going to let you stand on their shoulders, and they'll say, hey, I don't mind if I stay down here as long as you succeed, as long as you do better. And I think it's pretty awesome to have those type of friends because each one in your circle would do the same thing for you. And it's like you sit there and you try and go, okay, who do I want around me that is looking out for my best interest? Who do I want around me that will help me propel and excel in what I'm doing? And when we choose wisely our friends, we'll find we can go farther than we ever could imagine. Well, the reality comes when you're picking your spouse. You know, I can't go so many places without Leilani's help. She literally propels me forward. And I remember many struggling times. I mean, you know this, when I went to have sales or things would be going a little challenging and you would just encourage me. I believe in you. Don't worry. I know we can do this together. And it works. So number one, when you're looking for a mentor, make sure you're surrounded with the right people, the peers around you that will help propel you forward. That means sometimes you have to get rid of certain people that aren't encouraging you. I'm not saying totally blacklist them unless they just literally are a bad influence or they just constantly have a negative attitude about things. That's a time when you're trying to excel, you don't want them around because you got to focus on what it takes for you to get moving forward. Why? To fulfill your calling, to fulfill who God called you to be, to understand your identity and your purpose. But mentorship, honestly, and we've talked to our kids about this many times, mentorship is about finding people that are where you are or where you want to be, and not finding someone who's struggling in the same area you are. Now, that's when it's going to appear. You work together. But a mentor is someone, when you ask someone for advice, it's people that have went through a challenge you may be going through, and how did they get through that? You know, I have some good friends right now that had major drug issues and major alcohol issues, and God delivered them from that. Now, if I have someone come up to me and say, hey, I really need some help. I have a drug addiction. How do I get past that? I'm generally not going to be the best person to help them. So mentorship, whatever it is you're trying to do, find someone that's successful at what they're doing and then allow them to pour into your life. Wouldn't you say? Mm-hmm. I mean, it's literally, if you're going to, you can add more than, it's okay.
Can't interrupt you.
No,
you're on a monologue.
I'm on a monologue. It's like The Incredibles. That's where
you're monologuing.
You're monologuing. Okay, so, but when you say that's true, I mean, I remember when we were having kids, and there were certain questions we had that we didn't know.
Still never found the answers to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like Rachel with colic. You know, we didn't know, and then somebody mentioned.
Well, it was Dr. Nelson.
Yeah. They mentioned, hey, your kid has this, and took care of it. And it was pretty amazing.
Baby, not kid.
Oh, baby, little baby. So go ahead and type any questions whatsoever, and we'll answer them.
Do our best to answer them.
We'll do our best if I can even speak. But what would you say? I want to start with a question with you, because this is an area I had a major challenge in because I didn't understand. But when we had 4 little kids at home and I was working a lot, what would you do differently now, knowing what you know now back then, as far as raising them and not getting overwhelmed?
Same budget?
No, not the same budget. No.
If I had the money
Yeah.
at that time, which we did not,
Yeah.
I would definitely have someone come and help me with the things that did not come as easy to me. I would rather have someone come and help me clean or clean for me so that I could get to the things. I'd rather be with my children and one-on-one with my children, especially when they were little, than cleaning. Yet some people are great at, teaching their children how to do that. But the reality is, when they're really little, to me, it was really hard. If you are able to go ahead and teach your children when they're toddlers, that's great. But for me, that was just not my strong suit.
So let's say
I
not
would say,
having a budget, though.
So if you have to do it yourself, I mean, there's times that you just not worry about some of those tiny details. If the floor needs to get vacuumed, but you need to spend time with your children, then the floor can wait, kind of a thing, and not worry so much about it. You know what I mean? I mean, obviously you want to keep a clean house, but it's kind of a balance, and not to just worry about so many things. And I think I would be more mindful of being more patient. Definitely I've made mistakes and things like that. I was probably way too tired sometimes, and maybe could have done better for myself with some of that. But you know, as you get older and you look back and you go, that wasn't a good plan, that didn't work so well. But I think you just have to learn and keep going. And it would have been beneficial if I would have had a lot more friends that I could have partnered with to help with children or this or that. But just didn't really have that many.
Well, we had one car, and
like
I would
that.
take it to work.
It's true.
So that
we had
kind
one
of
car for
quite
in
a
different
while.
seasons and things like that. So yeah.
Now,
Who made an angry face?
it was probably Rachel accidentally hitting it.
Don't say that. You
No,
don't know.
I'm serious. When she came on, a little angry face come on. Or maybe it's because we were talking about Rachel and her colic. So, but
Okay.
another question I've had ladies ask lately is, it gets lonely when it's just you and the kids because you don't have adult interaction.
See, Rachel said
And
that.
so
I
when
didn't
you're
say that, Rachel.
when it's just you and the kids, what do you do to keep your sanity of always talking in a 2-year-old or 4-year-old level? And how do you stop yourself from being lonely? Which I couldn't, as a husband, I couldn't understand. I'm like, you have 4 kids around. How are you lonely? I don't get that. I don't understand. But now that I'm older, I do understand. But what would you recommend for ladies that feel like that?
I would say, definitely reach out to the friends you have, family you have. Obviously, we have different technology nowadays where you can at least FaceTime someone, even if you don't live in the same area with them. Make it a point to become involved in your church, in a small group, life group, whatever your church calls it, cell group, things like that. Make a point to continue getting involved in classes, whether it's online with a ministry, or if your church has an online course, or even a course in person when we are allowed to gather again. Make a point to get involved in those things so that you do have adult interaction and grown-up conversations, not just about toddler and what happened on Dora today and things like that.
Hey, that's important.
I mean,
Hey, Mary.
So that would be my thoughts for.
Yeah, I've seen ladies nowadays, it's important because we do have the ability to reach out that we normally wouldn't because of technology. And I've seen some ladies just literally go on FaceTime while they're doing their normal day-to-day activity. And then they're just interacting with other moms. And it's just kind of a way to vent and go, hey, you know what? Here's the reality. Every parent goes through the same issues with their kids. There's always the stage where the baby stage where they just eat, sleep, go to the bathroom. That's all they do. They can't move. Then there's a stage where it's so cute because they're getting ready to crawl and we're so excited for them to crawl. And then they start to crawl and we're going, how do they get into these places? They're like little scooters going all over the place. How do you keep track of that? And then they get to that walking stage and you realize that all your cabinets need to have hinges on them because you walk up to the kitchen and they got pots and pans everywhere. And
We didn't put hinges.
Yeah, we didn't, did we?
No. I just moved anything dangerous.
Okay, fair enough. I mean,
if they play with your storage, your Tupperware, whatever you have, or even pots and pans, they're probably not going to hurt themselves or hurt the pots and pans. It's not like, I don't know. For me, we put obviously soaps and detergent, things like that up high where they couldn't get to them. But
yeah. And it's important, ladies. I mean, and there's also some challenges with isolation. And it's when you're just taking care of the kids, but the role is so important. I mean, I don't understand. It's amazing to me when a mom is working a full-time job, the dad's working a full-time job, and they're now trying to juggle the children and figure out how to make things work. And man, it can be such a challenge. And you wonder why people are so exhausted.
Yeah.
It's because they're trying to keep up with everything. But let me encourage you on this side of it.
and some people do it well,
Yeah, they do. Some people,
really well.
well, we have some friends that have 12 kids, Greg and Gretchen DeVries. And I'm telling you, how they take care of their 12 kids when they're growing up. I mean, Gretchen was a machine and still is. She just is very deliberate in all that she does because Leilani was really, Leilani, holy cow. You threw me off, Rachel. I mean, Mariah, oh my gosh. I need more coffee. But Greg was gone a lot. And so how do you take care of 12 kids? Well, you have a system and a process, a routine. And you stay in that routine, that process, that system. And I'm telling you, I teach thousands of agents how to do what I do in the United States. And they have all different personalities. They have all different budgets. They have all different circumstances. And I teach them, as long as you follow a system and a process, you don't have to, yeah, she always has a big cup of coffee.
No, she's talking about the one they bought me.
Oh, there you go. That's awesome. I'd love to see a picture of that. But no matter what their personality, their circumstance, or their budget is, if they follow a system and a process, it makes things a lot easier. And I could picture as a mom, as long as you follow the same type of routine, process, system, it's going to make it a lot easier. But there's the reality. You're in the system in this process and you're going through your routine and one of your kids is sick or something breaks or something. Kids get into things all the time. So that throws everything off. Or you have plans to sit there and go, okay, you know what? I'm going to do laundry this day. And then one of the kids gets sick and you have to take them to the doctor. That messes everything up. So adapt to every circumstance as best as you can and realize, Leilani has said this to me, and I don't know why I'm talking so much about this today because motherhood is something I know very little about, but Leilani and I have talked about a lot over the years of what would you do differently, or she would say, man, I may not be as, what was the thing you'd use? You may not be as critical of little things. Yeah, in other words, you wouldn't, oh man, how did you word that?
I think I already covered that.
Yeah, well, no, it was more like, it is kind of what you've covered, but sometimes people focus so much on the little tiny details that they miss the big picture. And I think that's really what it comes down to. There is a lot of little details, whether it's business, whether it's family, whether it's, life circumstances. You focus so much on the little details that you miss the big picture. So what other questions do people have? If not, I have others that I can go into as well. And we're not going to cover anything about
Rachel's asking, what's 13 to 50?
What's 13 to 50? I have no idea.
I'm afraid to ask, Rachel. What is it?
What is 13 to 50? We'll give you a moment in here. I don't know. Okay, we're scrolling down. 13 minus. Okay, You know what? Knock it off. Oh, my kids. What are we getting?
What is 7?
Yeah, you didn't have. You don't need to encourage
It's a family
that.
joke.
Yeah, you don't need to encourage that.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, Mariah.
Oh, Mariah.
Best advice to new mom. Go for it, babe.
Yeah, please don't announce to us on Facebook Live.
Yeah.
That would not be okay.
I would cry.
Best advice. Whew. I would say any mom, no matter new or not as new, just enjoy every season, because it does ends up going by quickly. Even though someone once said the days are long, but the years are short. And
Wow.
if you've been a mom or a parent for any amount of time, or been through different things, you know what I'm talking about. Like sometimes that night when the baby won't sleep, or that day when the baby won't sleep, and you just need to get dinner on or laundry done or anything done if you work from home or something like that. And so you need a moment, just enjoy every season, because it goes quickly, no matter what. Our youngest just turned 19 last week, and I'm like,
Yeah.
whoa, what happened? How did that, it wasn't that long ago that he was little, and he's clearly not little anymore. And
He's way bigger than me. The dude's a giant. Holy cow.
And, it all goes quickly. And so you just have to enjoy the season you're in and you can have joy even in the tough seasons. It's a choice. Doesn't mean you're okay with everything going on, especially in days like today. You want to definitely make the best of every circumstance and every situation. And for those of you, yes, I do know how to do math. I understand that 13 from 50 is 37. There's a whole story behind it.
Yeah.
I won't get into it right now.
I find what you just said was very profound, and I've never heard that before that I can think of. The days are long, but the years are short. And man, that is so true. Even right now, that's very true. I very long hours at times when I'm working, and I feel like, man, this day's never going to end. And then all of a sudden I'm back to Saturday again. And I'm like, what just happened to the week? Where did it go? And I hear when you get grandkids and you get older, time goes faster. And I'm going, holy cow. It's like, it happens so fast. Here's a question. What is your best marriage advice while raising 4 kids? This one to me is very easy, and I think we did a really good job at this. Never forgetting that your spouse is priority. Now, not circumstantial. In other words, there's times where something happens with the children that you have to take care of that. But our kids have always known that we come first with each other, because if our marriage is not successful, if we're not in good relationship with each other, then it's going to be a major challenge, because number one, I need to know that she's my first love. Obviously, we know God's our first love. Jesus is our first love. But as far as here on earth, she is my first love. And I have to make sure that relationship comes first. You need to take dates. Now, remember, when we were first married and we had children, we didn't have money to go and eat out a lot. Actually, rarely we eat out. Not only just because we didn't have the money.
I was a queen of getting 4 children and myself for like $6 at Wendy's. Terrible quality food. I'm not advocating that now, but at the time, that's what we could do.
But take time out for each other. Yes, you're tired. I get that. But the funny thing is, people go to work tired. They'll go, and if there's a game they want to play, gentlemen, they'll play this game. The buddies will say, hey, let's go out and do this. Oh, sure, but I'm exhausted, but I'll still do it. But then your spouse says, hey, I just want some time with you. Oh, but I'm tired. I just want to sit on the couch. No, that's not right. You need to always work on the relationship. One of the most challenging situations I see is people that raise their children, and then the whole time they're raising their children, they forget who their spouse is. They don't work on that relationship. And then all of a sudden the kids graduate and now empty nest, and they're like, who am I married to? I don't even know this person. And that's why
you have to work on it.
You do.
You have to keep that connection. You have to be intentional about your time with each other. Yeah.
That's really comes down to is make sure that your spouse you never get disconnected from that. And that's not just, and this is going to get a little awkward, but it's intimacy too. You know, you got to stay romantically connected with each other to where you don't lose that romance. You don't lose that spice. Now, once again, that's a challenge when I come home and I'm exhausted because I was working, and then I'm so, hey, hon, what's going on? Hey, let's go jump in bed kind of thing. And then, but then she's like, you don't understand what just happened to me today. I've been raising 4 kids, and that is tough. And I didn't understand that. So if I was to go back and look at or change things, I'd sit there and try and assess her situation before I'd make any assumptions. Because if I really took the time to look on her face and go, she needs a break. Now, there were times we'd go out and I would, is somebody saying something?
Because I'm watching myself and I look angry and I'm not angry.
Well, that's the story of my life.
It's awkward of sitting here listening.
Yeah. But how many people say, stop looking angry, stop looking like you're going to kill someone? No, I'm happy inside. I really am.
Okay, girls.
So, really? Hey, how do you think you got created?
Okay, stop. Okay. No. Mm-mm.
This is not.
No, that's not.
You guys have all read the Orange Book, okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So always make your marriage first. And if you don't have money to do it, we just recently stopped at a restaurant. We took takeout and then we sat by a river kind of area down in New Braunfels, a park. And
Beautiful park.
We had a picnic together. Mm-hmm. And those are just as enjoyable to me as going out to some fancy dinner. I love just hanging out with Leilani. Why? Because we've maintained our friendship and then some. How about advice for moms whose kids are out of the house and maintaining a beautiful relationship? I'm assuming maintaining a beautiful relationship with your kids?
Yes.
Okay. What would you say on that?
I think, again, be intentional. They live near you. Go and do something that you both like to do together. And figure that out, whether it's shopping or coffee or hiking or, whatever it might be, crafting. I mean, it could be anything. Find something that you can both do together and enjoy. It doesn't have to cost money. Or much money, and just be, plan it out. Too often we can go too long without actually planning time. We'll plan everything else,
Good point.
but not necessarily plan time with others.
Yeah.
And so I think that's good. And if they don't live near you, then again, plan time to communicate. Our daughter Ariel and her husband Grant have been doing Zoom calls with his family because his side of the family is in a few different areas, and of course quarantine and all that kind of stuff. People can't get together, so they've done Zoom calls they have a schedule of when they all do it, and that way they can all talk to each other and keep connected and communicate and still, spend time together. It's not the same as, in person, obviously, but, they're intentional about it, and they're doing a great job at that.
I've never even thought of that. You literally have families with technology we have right now, we can stay connected better than ever. And that's a really great idea. Just as a family, you schedule, hey, Saturday morning, we're going to have family time. We're going to have a Zoom call and all of us are going to get on it. I'm like, man, that is a great idea. I mean, it's very common though. One of the girls or even Zach, they're staying in touch with Leilani a lot. Me more so, not quite as much because obviously I'm running appointments or I'm out during the week, but they'll just pick up the phone and they'll call her and just to talk. And I love that because that really, I believe, was established when they were young. I believe it was very deliberate to where we know there's a relationship. So when they're out of the house, they still want that relationship. If we're gone for a couple weeks or 3 weeks on a vacation, they're like, Mom, Dad, we want you home. We want you back. That's a good problem to have.
Which is why I have to have service. I have to have... Not because they can't survive and they can't function without me, but it's just part of our relationship is we just communicate about things.
I just had somebody ask me that this week. They go, when you're gone for 2 or 3 weeks, do you fully disconnect? And I'm like, no, we still have a cell phone plan. We still have an internet plan because we want to interact with our kids. We want, now with my business, I have to have that. But even Leilani's like, no matter where we're going, I need to have some sort of, like if we're on a cruise, we always do the internet plan for her. Why? Because the kids just sometimes want to reach out and talk. And we'll do FaceTime, and really, it's because we can't survive. Aw, Mariah, you're the best.
You're
okay,
sweet.
Okay, Rachel, you're the best. Zach, you're the best. Ariel, you're the best. Okay, we had to get that. Grant, you're the best. Caleb, you're the best. Okay, as you guys know.
And good morning, Annette. Good morning,
David.
Who
Good
else
morning.
went on?
Yeah, there's quite a few.
Mary.
See, that's what happens when you have many, many kids. Is you got to make sure. Everybody says, you know, am I your favorite? No, you're not, and you are. We can have multiple favorites. And
Still don't know how to function. Yes, you do, Rachel.
You do too. Absolutely. Absolutely. But I love, honestly, that they want that relationship. No, I'm not mentioning a dog. It's a dog, okay? It's a walking bag of meat, okay?
No, don't say that.
It's just, hey, why do you take your dogs on hikes in case I get lost? No. See, that's one. For you, that the people that mark the little hashtags, that's one of those looks. I love that look. And it's living on the edge. I never know when I'm going to get smacked. See this bruise right here? That's from her. No,
Whatever.
Really? Angry face again? Come on. That angry person needs to not be on here if they're angry.
It's probably Mariah.
Mariah, yeah, because I said,
Yep,
yeah, there we
Mariah.
go. Yeah, there's Mariah. Anyway, because I said that about the dog. Okay, never mind.
Because Colt's talking back to you right now.
Oh, I don't care if Colt's talking back. Anyway. But yeah, I love, and the funny thing is when our 2 oldest got married, it was how far apart was it?
16 weeks.
16 weeks they got married. And it was, oh no, I wouldn't take McConaughey. He's more like
I
jerky.
don't take
He's a
myself
little too
hiking
old.
right now, dear.
But 16 weeks apart they got married. And it was really neat because we had to deal with them based off of a budget on the wedding. Say, hey, you know what? We're going to help you with the house, down payment on a house. But I didn't plan on them getting married 16 weeks apart. And then they get married and they had an apartment for about a year.
It's different timelines.
Yeah, but they had an apartment for a period of time, but then they ended up buying houses back to back as well. And I love it because the houses are only 3 houses apart. So it's been awesome to see them because it's not just to me about us interacting with, it's not just about us interacting with each other. It's not just about the kids interacting with us. It is so important for us to see our children interacting with each other, our children having a great relationship. And I love watching that. I love just being really, I can sit back and just listen to them talk. Our family dinners are a blast. So, okay, let's see. Yeah, Rachel, you just said, can you give us a tour of your room? Are those a bunch of knives on the wall? I have knives, spears, guns, hatchets, arrows. I have. This is the room that people know if anything ever goes really bad, let's go in this room. I just had a bunch of guy friends over last night. We're playing pool and everything. And my friend goes, I love how every gun you have in the house has a magazine fully loaded right next to it. Now remember, this room is secure and locked, and it's always locked. And then little kids are never allowed up here by themselves, ever.
Or really at all.
No, And really also, even friends that come over, they're not allowed, our kids' friends, when they come over, if they want to tour this place, I need to be here when that's going on. So it's a very, very secure room. But yeah, everything's ready to go if necessary in this room. Not that I worry about that. And I mean, once again, I believe we live in a very safe place. I mean, Leilani and I have both done third world missions. We've both been in inner cities in the United States that have been very challenging in certain areas. So we're very fortunate. We don't have to worry about a lot of that. But yeah, Rachel, I can definitely show you. We'll see if we can do like another young adult gathering, and I could give a tour of our room. But you, married man, you. What do you mean by that, Judy? Okay, what other questions do we have? Now, Leilani, just to balance this out, Leilani does have her sewing parlor where she does a lot of, what's the main thing you do in there? I don't know. You're just in there sometimes. You've been working on sewing masks lately.
I craft and sew things and do fun things in there, and
Fun.
it's a sewing parlor. Hey, I don't make fun of yours. You don't need to make fun of mine.
You're a better shot than me. She can outshoot me. I remember we went up to...
Next live from the parlor.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. There's way too much purple and stuff down there. We're gonna be... Oh, okay, it's good. There's way too much manly stuff here. I get it. Okay. Travis, no, you do not qualify as a young adult. We'll have to figure this one out. So, okay. Since it's been brought up, yes, I do like scrapbooking for one reason, because it makes her happy. She loves, I created this scrapbooking book for our anniversary, and it was for our 20th anniversary, and now we've been married for 27 years. And so every year I get to do a page. I love doing a page. It's a challenge now, because literally for the next, 27 years, for the next,
Forever.
Yeah, I'm going to have to do this until I'm 95 and we hit our 75th wedding anniversary. So actually 74 we'll hit. Okay. Yeah. Anyway. Okay.
Any other questions?
What other questions?
I feel like we're rambling.
Of course. People like rambling. Okay. So if there's no other questions for Leilani, I'm going to stay on for a little bit, and I'm going to show you some of the office. I know some people get a little nervous about seeing what I have. Let's see. I haven't seen him since married. Okay, got it. Yeah, David is a married man. He actually has a kid too. But Leilani's going to go run some errands, so I can give you a little bit of a tour. But it's literally, I just love collecting things from places I go, and I choose to collect weapons. No matter where we go or what we're doing, whether it's a vacation, traveling the world, missions trips, I just love collecting weapons. Leilani loves collecting coffee cups. So we have coffee cups from all over the place. Literally, we're going to have a shelf. We already do. We have pretty much one full cabinet designated for coffee cups. Do we have any
Designated.
other? Designated. So... Any other questions for Leilani? Let's see. We're looking through questions here. Okay. Yep. Oh, okay. Judy says, wait, don't go away.
Wax and lax.
What's wax and lax? See, Nicole, you're a lot younger than us, and so I don't know what wax and lax are. I know what lax are, but I would say my childhood, there were good and bad points to it. There were some challenges. It's hard sometimes. I share things that are true, but I don't want to dishonor my parents. And my mom had a real tough time. My father was abusive when I was growing up, and he was an alcoholic, and he was a workaholic. And so it was a challenge. They got a divorce when I was young, and literally then there was custody battles, and I was living with my mom for a while, and then I lived with my dad for a while. And man, it can be a challenge. I would say you just remember who you are and why you were made. And it doesn't matter what your childhood was like, you can get through that. Mm-hmm. I mean, because your parents got married, divorced young, or when you were younger. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm still not sure what wax and lax are.
Yeah. Well, we can address that one, explain that one a little bit more, and then we can go into it a little bit more. Let's see. Great grandma might. How do you look so great? She does, doesn't she? Oh. I'm telling you, I can stare at her all day. Look at you.
That's not awkward at all.
No, of course. Literally okay, I can't say that.
No. Mm-mm.
Let's just say who she is and how she looks. It's easy to look at. So we do. Okay.
Thank you for the compliments.
Yes. What's your latest project? Oh, go ahead. Beauty.
I mean, honestly, I've been using Mary Kay skincare for 30 years. And I just try to keep current without trying to look like I'm 15, because that's weird if you're not 15. My girls help me to stay young and current, and I'll ask them and make sure that I'm looking good. It's been a little challenging lately. I'm not, without salons and various establishments open.
Yeah, look at this. I have hair going all the way. I need a haircut so bad. But
and I've chosen. Sorry.
Go ahead.
I've chosen to allow the shimmer to come through. If you've noticed.
Yeah.
So still adjusting really to that, but
no, it looks great, hon.
I felt like it was a losing battle, and trying to do it gracefully.
You're doing it great.
So
I love it. You can tell when you're a cool hip mom when your daughters keep borrowing your clothes. It's like Leilani saw Mariah in a pair of shorts.
Oh, Mariah's gonna cut your hair.
Okay. The clippers. When are you cutting my hair? Anyways, that's time. You cannot get me back for anything I've ever done to you when you're cutting my hair. But Mariah was in the kitchen. She's our number 2 daughter. And she's wearing these shorts. And Leilani's like, oh, those are a cute pair of shorts. And Mariah goes, yeah, they're your shorts.
Yeah, I got them out of your drawer.
It's like, so, you gotta be pretty hip right there. Let's see. What's your latest project? What's something you're working on right now?
Well, I'm actually going to be making some more masks, some more cloth masks, because Rachel works at a pediatric office, and she just actually finally got to go back to work yesterday, which is awesome. And the doctors and nurses there expressed high level of interest, so we're actually going to go get some kid-friendly fabric, and then I'll be doing that on Monday.
Yeah.
So I really like to restore furniture, like sand and paint and things like that. Don't act like you're surprised. But without getting into it, I have a lot of knee problems with one of my knees, and it's a huge challenge for me to move around as much as I need to when I'm doing something like that, getting down on the ground and sanding and painting and up and down. It's just a process. So I haven't been able to do that lately, but I do really enjoy it. It's fun.
This is a deep question. Biggest tip for breaking generational curses or old family patterns that you don't want to repeat in the future. That's kind of up our alley. That's one of the things we strive for. Leilani consistently says, how going through what you went through your childhood and situations, did you ever be different or end up overcoming those things? And here's the reality. When you understand that you're a child of God, when you understand what your purpose, your identity is, then you really doesn't matter what happened in the past. That was a worldly circumstance. A worldly circumstance should never affect an eternal destination. In other words, we have these obstacles that come in the way, and we're not defined by who we were. We're not defined by the circumstances we had before. Now we are defined by how we overcome them. And so life can be incredibly challenging. So if you have generational curses, or you have a challenging childhood, or challenging anything, a challenging previous marriage, whatever it is, what you do from then on out is how to fix it. Because I know a lot of people that had challenging marriages, they chose not to work on them, they got a divorce, and they ended up in a worse circumstance. And it's why? Because something didn't get fixed. And they end up repeating the same cycle over and over again. And I have people ask me this in business. I don't like being in my job right now. What do I do to get another job? Because here's my opportunity I have in front. I'm like, you're doing the exact same thing again. And so you have to break that pattern and realize, I mean, the Bible's the best way. Just read.
Yeah. I'm sure there's other resources. I just can't think of them right now.
Yeah. I mean, just remember, what was is not what is. And I had this thing that came out, and I was just standing, I was getting ready in the morning, and the Lord kind of whispered this to me. The greatest obstacle to, or greatest challenge, or greatest reason why people don't achieve new goals, new dreams, they don't see things realized, it's not the obstacles you had before. It's not the obstacles that are in front of you. It's the obstacles that are within you. How do you get this and this to connect? How do you start to go, you know what? What happens then, or what happened then, or what happens, what am I doing today? What do I do deliberately every single day? And yes, so important. You're a child of God. That's absolutely the number one thing. Wouldn't you say? I mean, anything to add to that?
Yeah, well, Rachel asked, how do you actually break the curse? I'd say you need to get around some other believers who are equipped to help you in that, and you need to pray. And sometimes you have to keep walking it out. Sometimes you have to keep walking out forgiveness. Sometimes forgiveness is a one and done, and then sometimes you have to keep walking it out, and sometimes it's multiple times a day. It just depends on, what you're dealing with. And sometimes God gives you that grace to be able to get through it right away. So it really just depends. It just depends. Everyone's different. There isn't a one size fits all situation, but definitely there's healing to be had for anyone, and you want people, on your team with you to help you walk through that and help you by praying for you and declaring that, like, I'm not going to have this particular curse on my life anymore, whatever it might be.
Yeah, I'll tell you, it's literally you determining what's going to happen next. That's the reality, because you can go and get prayed for, you can have counseling, you can do all these classes, all these books, and if you don't decide to be determined, I am going to change to the best person possible, once again, it doesn't matter what happened before. And I think that's absolutely the most critical thing. Just be determined. People ask all the time, what's your next goal? What's your next goal? My goal every single day is to do what God wants me to do today. And then I don't need to worry about the future, because he's directing me. And so let's see. Books. I am currently working on a book right now called Residue Living, From Economics to Godonomics. I literally haven't written anything in probably 4 months, maybe longer. I'm waiting for the release. No, there's one right here where she asked about books. Need more books.
Oh, okay.
And so, I'm working on that right now. I hope to have it completed in the next few months. And it's just, I'm waiting for the release to finish it, because I'm literally 80% of the way done with it. Just need to finish it up and create a course. I have a lot of projects. I'm working on right now. How about you? Are you writing any books?
No, I have no intention at this time to write a book.
I think you'd be great. Okay, so So it's just struggles during childhood. I'd say for both
Experience
of
during childhood that you maybe struggle with due to circumstances, family structure.
Mine, that's a deep one. And actually, Nicole, you know you can always call us. So, okay, generational curses, perfect. Okay, so we addressed that. We'll go back to the divorce. Anytime, and married couples, listen to this. This is so important. I hear people say, well, we argue all the time. We don't get along. Husbands, wife, we don't get along. It would be better for our kids if we had just get a divorce. Now, this excludes physical abuse or someone who's cheating on you, okay?
And unwilling to change.
And unwilling to change, okay? So
especially.
this excludes that. If you're being abused, get out. If you're in danger of any way, get out. But the comment I hear from multiple couples is, it would be better if we just got a divorce. And it's like, the kids won't be impacted by that. That is a flat out lie from the enemy. Mm-hmm. You get a divorce, your kids will be impacted for the rest of their lives. 100%. Mm-hmm. Don't be fooled. Mm-hmm. And once again, I've seen horrific, my brother, he'll be the first one to tell you, they ran into marital issues where there was some unfaithfulness, and they turned around where it was, he shares it. He shares it openly. I know there's certain things like, well, he shares it openly. And they know there was some marital unfaithfulness, and they overcame that, and they are better now than they've ever been. And it's because they chose, both of them, to work on their marriage. They made that decision. They knew it was important for each other, and they knew it was important for their children. Mm-hmm. And now they have a better relationship than ever. So don't ever be under the deception that it would be better if we just got a divorce.
There are people who, maybe you're watching this and you're like, well, I've already gotten a divorce. It already didn't work out for whatever reasons. I don't want you to think that we're sitting here judging or there's no condemnation in that. Every single situation, everyone's story is different. Mm-hmm. And you, from this day forward, if you haven't already, you just move forward, and your children can be okay, and they can heal, and you just be the best parent you can be, and hopefully the other parent is being the best parent they can be as well. Mm-hmm. And if they're not, then that's not on you. And I just want you to know that, there's no condemnation coming from us or anything like that, because things do happen. Sometimes one spouse doesn't really have a choice. The other one just leaves, and there's no explanation. Or it doesn't make sense, even if there is one. So just know that God can heal and restore and even be that he can just fulfill what needs to be fulfilled. So be encouraged in that.
Yeah, I'll tell you, one of the greatest lessons in life that when I watched my brother and his wife go through this is my brother said, I am broken. I need to fix myself. Didn't mention anything about a spouse. He said, I need to fix myself. And he focused on making himself a better person. And that's what we need to do. And I could say that in all circumstances. When challenges hit you, if you really focus on making yourself a better person, more knowledgeable, more compassionate, more loving, no matter what's going on, you will be a better person, no matter what circumstance comes in front of you. If you focus on loving people better, you're going to be a better person. So, any other questions? Let's see. Let's go through here.
Hi, Lynette.
Hi, Lynette.
Waving at you through the window.
Yeah, there are neighbors right across from us. Oh, that's funny. Okay. Well, if this is it and no other questions, we appreciate everybody taking time out to listen to us. This has been great. I mean, I don't know how often. Remember, next Saturday, I'm actually having someone that reached out to me, messaged me, that wants to interview me on Facebook Live. And so this will be the first time I've ever done that. But he's the one that reached out to me a lot about mentorship and the importance of mentorship. And he himself is reaching out for a mentor. So there's nothing scripted here. There's nothing that's planned. It's literally him asking me questions. And I think this will be really nice because I don't know what to expect, but I do know his heart and I know he wants to be a better person. And I think this would be good. So till next week, obviously Saturday, I believe it will be Saturday at 10 a.m. And for indefinitely, I think Saturday 10 a.m. is going to be a normal time. One of us or both of us is going to be Texas time Central. Yes, we'll be doing Facebook Live until we can start traveling again. Once we start traveling again, we have no idea we actually have kind of an idea where we're going, but we're going to be gone traveling quite a bit. So, yep, remember next Saturday, 10 a.m. Central Time. We love you all.
Hugs, Nicole. Miss you. Love you too.
Have a great day. Oh, Mariah. Okay. We'll do a war.
Okay.
Yeah, Leilani. Okay.
See you later.
Here, we'll do the war room tour. And once again, people, they'll say, oh, why are you showing all your stuff? I'm not worried about anybody trying to get my stuff at all. So right here, I actually have, this is my map. And actually, let me close this curtain because that's really tough to have this light going on. Okay, so in my war room, basically I have, this is my missions map. The missions map is just basically where Leilani and I have been and what we've done. And it's places we've been able to support over the years. And I'll move this out of the way. And we just really like to keep track of the places we've been as a family, as a couple. It's also places we're able to support. And so we're trying to get every country in the entire world done. And then, of course, this is what started it all. These Maasai weapons. We were in Kenya doing a missions trip, and there were some Maasai out there with weapons. And I'm like, man, I really like those. And that spear actually breaks into 3 different parts. That's the way it fit inside of my suitcase. And I love it because that's what got everything started. Then we have the War Club in the middle. That's actually from Tonga. It is super heavy. It's made out of ironwood. And of course, my eagle, my brother bought me the one right there when we're in Canada. And it means a lot to me because it's something very special. Then we have a whole bunch of stuff here. This is I have a shofar that I got in Israel. I have a bunch of Damascus knives. I love Damascus steel for one simple reason. Damascus steel is pounded and folded and pounded and folded. It's heated and reheated. And I love the fact that it's done that way.